And welcome everyone to the CBC podcast. It is a Tuesday, so therefore we're talking about all the movies that aren't the superhero movies. Of course, as always, I'm Mitch. That's Joe across the internet in wherever land. You can follow us on anywhere. Just Google us, Comic Book Cast. You'll find the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagrams, the whatever, the Twitch, the YouTube, wherever you listen to it. You can follow me at Mitch692 and of course Joe at Halftime Joe. As always, the timestamps for all the topics will be in the description. And of course, you can listen to us on any podcast services, as Joe likes to point out.
Yeah, because there's just so many.
There are.
It's like
I also have no idea which ones are on, so
no, I mean it's not like a specific ones like Spotify or SoundCloud. It's just any podcasting service because there's hundreds of apps that are podcasting services basically, and they all do the same thing. They all take the same like RSS feed in a way. From really, as long as it's on iTunes, which ours is, then you'll be able to find it anywhere. But yeah, it's just weird because you like I have one called Podcast Republic. There's another one called like Cast Tune or Cast Radio or Stitcher. You know, there's just so many. And
yeah.
everybody just uses different ones. There's a lot of them that cost like $10 monthly to be able to use like the full features. So it's some people just like using kind of the more free ones. That's why I say all podcasting services because you never know. And technically, I guess SoundCloud has podcasting services too. So yeah,
Fair enough. Stream's gone down, but getting into it,
streams got down.
it wasn't me.
Not here.
Netflix's Bird Box trailer has
Uh,
dropped.
I don't know if you've seen this. I put
Nope.
this in here because I happened to see it. I think it was during a basketball game. A trailer popped up, and I was wondering, what is this? Is this a TV show? You know, I'm not entirely sure what this could be. And then at the end, it says like Netflix. I was like, movie, and oh, okay. So I looked it up a little bit more, and as the kind of title says, it's essentially a quiet place, but with sight. So the trailer is basically Sandra Bullock, and there are these creatures that I don't think we can see, but that's not the point because if they see it, which we can't see, so it's kind of like a ghost. What's a movie that did that where there's a creature where they can see it but we can't, like the audience, you know? So it's a little like
No idea.
any one of those horror movies, so like The Conjuring, Insidious, stuff like that. And if you look at it, you see your like biggest horrors, like fears and everything, and you just start
Yeah.
going crazy and mad, and basically you end up killing yourself, stuff like that. So the world has to try to live similar to A Quiet Place, who did it without making a sound, without looking, without seeing with their eyes.
Yeah.
It's actually really
It
interesting.
sounds like an interesting premise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Well, this is based on a book that was like in 2004 or something like that. So it's not like they just made it because of A Quiet Place.
It's
Um,
based on Josh Marleman's 2014 post-apocalyptic novel.
oh, 2014. I thought it was like 2004.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it wasn't like essentially, the Quiet Place movie came out and they're like, we have to make a movie of our own that's similar. Um,
Yeah. I mean, that's a quick turnaround if it was.
exactly.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, this is also everything's coming out in December 21st.
Yeah, it really is. Wasn't
That's
December 21st the apocalypse?
yeah, in
Yeah, so
2012.
there you go. The entertainment world's going to end on December 21st,
Yeah, so
2018.
I I'm excited. I don't, Sandra Bullock. I feel like she is a pretty great actress. I mean, she has a resume that shows it for herself that she can do a lot of great things. So I'm excited to see what she could do with this, and just overall this movie, and kind of like how like the twist and the journey we go through them. And yeah, I just wanted to mention this because I just thought it
That's
was
cool.
pretty
I'm
cool.
actually quite happy you brought it up because it looks quite interesting. I'll watch the trailer after we're done with this.
Yeah, I 100% think you're like it. I don't think you ever saw Quiet Place, but you've seen the
No, I haven't.
trailers, right?
Waiting for it to drop on home release to watch that.
You've seen the trailers though for A Quiet Place, right?
Uh, no, I avoid them completely. I
Oh,
want
okay,
to go.
okay, okay. May, may,
Ironically, I want to go into it blind.
maybe don't watch the full trailer for Bird Box, but get the sense of it from like the first half or something, and then try
I mean, you
go through on
kind
this
of get
film.
a sense for it just from the trailer, like from the images and like the
True,
posters and everything.
true. I think this is going to be a really good movie, and it has, we talk about A Quiet Place on here, and it's like, well, it's similar, so I thought we could talk about this. So, yeah, there you go. That was my quick little segment on that. Can't wait to talk about it.
That's another one to add to the list of my like 50 Christmas movies I have to watch this year.
You're right.
Oh well. Moving on. Next, we have our first two looks at the Monster Hunter movie,
This is
which
all you.
it's not like only one bit looks like Monster Hunter, and that's what Mila Jovovich is wearing. But then it's only one part of what she's wearing. Um, it look is it Paul Wes Anderson?
Who's making
Is
the
he-
movie?
Yeah, he's the one that did the Resident Evil movies, wasn't he?
Mm, I'm not gonna confirm or deny because I can't remember, and I don't really care too much about those movies. But I'm gonna look up.
Oh no,
Let's see
no,
if
why? I'm just Paul W.S. Anderson, yeah. So you kind
Yeah,
of you can
yeah.
know it's going to butcher the shit out. But of course, there's army guys with guns because Monster Hunter has army guys with guns apparently.
Oh,
It
I
does.
mean, so
It
this
does.
is like out of the game too, right? Because I just know really the game.
I mean, the picture she posted is kind of out the game because she's like pointing out the slinger, which is what every hunter has. You usually get around, you can fire off like flashes and all that sort of stuff with
Right.
it. Um, It doesn't look great, to be honest. It looks really cheap. Where I don't know what armor she's wearing, but it's black.
So this is the synopsis for the film. I don't know if you've read it before, but the synopsis, according to Capcom, is the film tells the story of two heroes who come from different worlds to defeat a shared danger: the powerful, deadly, and magnificent monsters that inhabit the land. Along the way, viewers will make new discoveries and encounter familiar faces, beloved characters from the games like the Admiral. That's the synopsis. I'm assuming
Yeah.
the army guy is just because he got plucked out or something like that. And
Well, I mean, there's no army guy in Monster Hunter.
no,
Like,
but this
it's
is
not
gonna be
that.
like Monster Hunters, like either an island or a universe or something.
That just sucks.
That's what I'm just guessing from this. I don't know too much about the game, so
But you felt like the lore of Monster Hunter is it's like in the games like lore, it's theorized that there was an apocalypse before, so you had like this really advanced technological society before that, and it all came crashing down because they tried to fly too close to the sun for like a
well,
better term.
maybe he's one of those guys that they picked off, and
Yeah, but no,
I don't know.
it's not like
I don't know.
our technology, and then we turned into that. It's more just an advanced version of what they have. Like some of the weapons in the game aren't made by the people in that timeline. It's all from like relics they've dug up before, and like they've restored everything. Like some people can make them, but not a lot. So it's that, and, like it's I don't know. I'm
Ooh.
just worried. I can like there was test footage last year as well, and it's just like
So
yeah.
this Anderson does state that I don't know how much of this is in the game, but that sounds cool. There are ships that sail through the sand. That's cool.
Yeah, I think they've been in the Monster Hunter game before,
Yeah.
but they
So
have like ships and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it would make sense. I'm I'm s- I'm not really looking forward to it just because it is Paul W.S. Anderson and it is Mila Jovovich.
yeah,
Like they're not exactly
yeah,
um
it's gonna be similar to the Resident Evil movies. Like they're gonna
so
be okay, probably.
it helps. Well, it doesn't help the fact there is a monster that can turn things into zombies, and it's clear they're probably going to go with that one because
Because Resident Evil.
originality they have. And why else would you need a guy with a gun? Even though there's kind of guns in the game already, but they're not like rifles like these guys
Yeah.
have. There's no arm. But it's, I don't know. The best Monster Hunter game we're ever going to get is going to be Reign of Fire from years ago. If anyone knows that movie, points to you. But that was all about dragons and attacking. But I don't know. It's her saying posting that picture and being like, "Oh, it's all good." It's like, no, it's not all good.
Chat.
No.
I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense, Chat. If they are husband and wife, because
I mean, yeah,
most of the time,
yeah.
husbands and wife will work together. I mean, look at A Quiet Place, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
those two are husband and wife, and then I'm sure there's many other like movies that happen. So I mean, it makes sense.
It's I'll hold out until we see a first trailer for
Sure.
this because if they can just get the setting right, I'll be a bit more hopeful. But as it stands right now, the fact that there are generic army guys in here, and that was the first thing they showed, not really holding out hope. If I see one skyscraper, I'm gonna be mad because that's not Monster Hunter at all. But anyway, moving on from that because it is just sad. Attack on Titan has been announced to be getting a live action adaptation, and I think it's from Warner Brothers. Yeah, from Warner Brothers Studios. Not Legendary, like I was going to get it confused with. But
So the guy who directed it is going to be directing this movie. Is
yeah,
apparently what is happening, and
and
you know, I loved it actually. I
was a fantastic movie.
think
Literally,
it's if I have to like say top 10 movies that I just enjoyed, that's probably in there. So
you
I
put it in your top 10.
well, it's not like a top 10 of like what are the best movies that are just like top to bottom. It's just kind of the ones I enjoy probably. I really enjoyed it. It's a, you know, I'll talk about it later, but it's this weird thing where every time I talk about it, I'm like, it was just really funny. And it's like a horror movie.
Was it funny?
Yeah, it was hilarious, and it was scary.
The only funny part I could really point out is when he does the dance because it just completely.
Did we not see the same movie? Like literally the kids stuff was hilarious.
No, I didn't find anything.
Dude,
funny.
Everybody in my theater died every time the kids did stuff, and it was just hilarious. Every time I go into like one of those reviews on Letterboxd, people were just saying like, "Man, the kids were great. They're hilarious." And
I mean, the kids were great in it. I wouldn't say I don't remember laughing at the kids.
Dude, I swear I laughed in that movie way more than I thought I would. But I still think it was a super enjoyable movie. But Attack on Titan, a show I haven't really gotten a chance to start.
You're not missing out, man.
Well, you say that, and I respect your opinion, but there's a whole other people that I know in real life that really go on for this show and like say that it's worth it. I'm like, I'll give it a try. I'm down with it.
Do you like really depressing stuff?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
But I mean, like, have you ever
I mean, what do you think? Name something else that's real depressing stuff. Name something.
Oh, I can't even think off the top of my head.
That we both kind of seen.
Oh, then we'll be here all day because I can't think of anything like that right now.
Oh, I mean, doesn't matter to me.
It's just generally like really. It's not enjoyable in the slightest. No. The best part about Attack on Titan is the season 1 intro. That's it.
Well, I'm gonna check it out. There's a lot of people that love this, and I just got there has to be something to it, so I kind of want to check it out. I haven't even seen a trailer for it.
As chat says, not only is it boring, it's also overly dramatic. That's very.
That is y'all. Chat is entitled to their own opinion. I want to check it out. I can't say anything.
I mean,
about
it's fine. It's fine to check. Want to check it out. I'm just like just warning you right now. It's overly depressing. It is dramatic, overly dramatic, and it is.
Tell me, to be honest, nothing really bothers me if like something's super depressing or something super lighthearted. Nothing really bothers me.
I mean, it's not even the fact that like it's just I don't want to watch something depressing. It's just like it's just too much. Like there's no like uplift in the show. You can't just be like a consistent level of sadness. You have to have that like moment to bring.
Well, we'll see.
You don't care.
We'll see. Eventually, I'll get into. I think it's on Hulu, so I could actually start this weekend. So
I mean, it's probably everywhere. No, I don't hear a lot about. You heard a lot about it when season 1 was out.
I still hear a lot about it. Actually,
I don't see anything about it. But I think that's because I think I haven't heard about it because the gap between season 1 and 2 was huge.
Yeah,
I think it was almost the same as the 7 Deadly Sins on Netflix. It's just like damn. But there's a live action movie on Netflix which is arguably worse.
Oh,
bad.
The kind of I don't know who made it. Was it in China? Was it in Japan? I don't know.
The Japanese made it. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I heard about that. That's the thing I heard.
And they do that typical thing where it's like we have to stick to it completely. We can't deviate, and everyone like it's a typical Japanese live action animated movie. It's not good.
Cool.
But yeah, if people like Attack on Titan, cool. You probably will be getting.
I wish that it seemed cool because it's just these giant creatures where these kids fight.
It's a really cool concept. Poor execution.
Well, we'll see. I'll probably watch Sabrina first, but definitely will want to get into this. This is a show that I've just been waiting to get into. It's like I know I want to, I just haven't.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
But moving on from that, because I don't think there's anything else really more to say. The Boba Fett spin-off, the Star Wars anthology movie, is officially dead.
Listen, we don't have to go too long on this. I know there's gonna be, probably comments or people somewhere talking about, Kathleen Kennedy, Luke, whatever. Okay, he's not getting a movie. There you go.
I mean, A, Boba Fett doesn't need a movie. B,
Cool.
Boba Fett can't hold his own movie because he's not a character. C, you have the Mandalorian.
Well, to rebuttal against B, he doesn't have a character because they didn't give us one, right? But it doesn't mean you can't make him one.
I mean, no, but there's no reason for me to care about him having a movie because he got beat. All Boba Fett did was get beat by a blind guy and eaten by a pit.
Isn't that the point of a movie? To try, or at least like try to
like,
get you to care?
I don't care about Boba Fett, so I don't want to see a movie of it.
Yeah,
so
so I mean, it's not like I'm asking for a Boba Fett movie, but if it came out and ended up making me care about it, like, okay.
I mean, cool. if it did and it made me care about Boba Fett, fine. Yeah. But it hasn't. It isn't. So
I thought it'd be cool because I just think like a bounty hunter types. I know we're getting the show, similar. Yeah. That's like a bounty hunter.
The Mandalorian is not a show. It is on the Disney streaming service. No, it's not a movie. It's a show on a Disney streaming service.
Yeah, I thought it'd been cool because I still think Boba Fett looks cool. So I thought, maybe if you give him character, he could be a cool character and look cool. But we're getting a TV show that's similar, so it's okay.
It's probably going to be a lot different, to be honest.
What?
The Mandalorian.
What do you mean?
Because Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian.
No, I know. I'm not saying we're getting like somebody that's similar. I'm just saying we're getting a bounty hunter show.
The story's going to be different because like Boba Fett's a bounty hunter. Mandalorians, I don't think are bounty hunters.
No, but the show is, whether they are or not, it's the guy is a bounty hunter.
Is he a bounty hunter?
Yeah, that's literally the thing about it is that he is a bounty hunter. Here, I'm gonna look it up. Mandalorian.
So it's either you fact check or chat. I know.
I'm gonna do it just
have the Star Wars guy in the chat.
Because I remember we had a conversation before, and how you had said that this is gonna have nothing to do with Boba Fett and even Jango Fett, and I said that in the synopsis they actually mentioned both of them. So maybe they're gonna have something like a reference to them in the show, and they did in the synopsis. Have a reference to them and see.
See, as chat's saying, the Mandalorians are a warrior race, not bounty hunters.
Well, we follow the travails of a lone gunfighter in the outer reach for the. I guess that's what I'm more saying. I guess bounty hunter was the wrong word. Just more of like a like a fighter type. Like I don't mean technically. I guess bounty. I don't know. I got mixed up by saying bounty hunter. But yeah, just kind of like a guy that's out there. Trying to survive and stuff like that. And it seems like he is because it says lone gunfighter, so he's on his own.
Yeah. And plus, you don't need a Boba Fett and a Mandalorian show at the same time.
No, but I mean, at the same time, who's to say that the reason we're getting the Mandalorian show is because, all the plans fell through for a Boba Fett movie. Like, they're like... Hey,
didn't Kathleen Kennedy say that? Like... Isn't that kind of like what's implied? Like, yeah, the Boba Fett movie's not happening because we have the Mandalorian.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's the other way around, that the Mandalorian show is happening because we don't have a Boba Fett movie.
Oh no, because the Boba Fett movie was
first, wasn't
planned. It was planned, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you said it the reverse. You said that the reason the Boba Fett movie's not happening is because of the show, but it's actually
that's because that's what it is.
Well, I thought the show was happening only because the movie wasn't happening.
No. Because they're filming the show now.
Yeah.
So the show's happening because the movie's dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because the movie...
You said it in the reverse order.
Well, no, I meant it the first way around.
So
it works the same way around in my head. No.
Oh, well, because to me it's like it's kind of like saying that they had like the show planned first. I'm like, no, I think they had the movie planned first. Because we had been hearing about it for years, right? About
they probably did have the movie planned first, yeah. But the movie's dead because of this.
I'm telling you, the way you say it sounds weird in my head.
Yeah, and anyway. Boba Fett movie's dead. Mandalorian's happening because Boba Fett movie's dead because of the show. They're going to
Or
move on.
the show is happening because the movie's dead.
No, because the movie's only just been announced as dead, and it was
I'm pretty.
probably the movie was probably only killed when Iger came out and said they're having a rethink about Star Wars.
I'm still like it's one of those
Which
things
the show
where
was filming.
But it's one of those things where we hear news, but sometimes it's like happened already. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna think
that's why I just said like the movie probably died when Iger or before Iger came out and said we're rethinking Star Wars a little bit.
Yeah, I think the movie's been dead for a while. I don't think even though it just came out that the movie's dead, I don't think they just thought of like, hey, let's kill a movie. I think it's been for a long time.
Still no. I still say it's because the Mandalorian exists. And they're like, you know what? We don't need two. Let's just trim it down a little bit. No.
So you think they were making both at the same time? Or I thought they were making Boba Fett first, and then it started to like go slow.
They planned Boba Fett first.
Yeah.
And then it's like, let's have a Mandalorian show to explore Mandalorians. And it's like, we don't need Boba Fett as well. Let's screw it.
Oh, okay. Now I get what you mean. That they had a Boba Fett movie first, and then they ended up also creating a Mandalorian show. And they're like, oh, I guess if we have the Mandalorian show, we don't really need Boba Fett. I get what you're saying. I
mean, that last bit was probably when they're rethinking everything. It's like, you know what? We don't need both. Like, get rid of Boba Fett. Especially since Solo, it's like, the characters we think would do well didn't do well, so let's just not try it.
And I know some people say, well, that just all sounds like semantics of this and that, but it is kind of important of, if one killed the other, or if they were making both and then decided we only really need one. I do think it is important in that sense, because it kind of could give an insight as to what they're thinking about. They don't really want to oversaturate like a certain type of stuff too.
Exactly, and that's why they've kind of halved their plan. It's like, well, actually, we're only going to do mainline sagas and not have one every year because it's just too much people.
Not all semantics. Yeah.
No. But yeah, I think that's all there is to say about that one. I'm looking forward to The Mandalorian. It looked cool from that one little picture. We'll see how it turns out. Moving on, we have the My Hero Academia live action film is in the works at Legendary, the same studio that picked up the Gundam live action movie.
Same studio that's making Godzilla films. Same studios that are they making Detective Pikachu?
I think they are.
I think so, right? That was one of the weird ones we had thought about. And this is also, when we say My Hero Academia film, we mean live action film, similar to Attack on Titan. That's going to be a live action film.
I said live action, didn't I?
Oh, I thought you just said film. Maybe you did.
No,
and just kind of went over. Either way, it is, yes, live action. So
yes, Detective Pikachu is legendary.
Yep, I knew it was, but just had to make sure I guess fact check. But are you kind of anime? What do you call it? What do you call it? Like end of the world theorists or whatever? Like
the end of Pokemon.
Yeah, like there's always people that come out of the woodwork once a live action anime film has come out, saying that this is the end, like this is gonna kill the show or something like that, or it's just like
it won't kill
the show 100%. Yeah.
I mean, if the Dragon Ball Evolution movie didn't kill that show, which
yeah, that was bad.
Maybe it should have. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but no, this will be fine.
So let's see. I don't think there's too much information about it, other than the fact, the article just goes through what My Hero Academia is.
Alex Garcia and Jay Ashenfelter are overseeing on behalf.
Yeah.
And Ryosuke, I think that's how I pronounce the name. I can't pronounce the other ones. Shepherding the project from Toho will distribute the film in Japan. I mean, if they treat it similar to how they're treating the Gundam movie, and they actually have like the people who make the show helping out with everything, then I'm a bit more optimistic in that sense. But
what a weird, unlike the fifth or sixth to last paragraph is just, they say our story focuses on Izuku Midoriya, and then it kind of goes through the synopsis of My Hero Academia in general. But it's just weird. It makes it sound like somebody was talking about a live action film. And I don't know. I don't think the live action film is going to be 100% beat for beat the show, because it's going to adapt. No. They got to adapt it. And it's like, why are you going to Might as well just watch the show if you're gonna have it beat for beat. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Yeah.
it definitely has to be a little different. I mean, you got to get the same thing right. Like Midoriya has to inherit the quirk. That's got to be.
Well, that's the thing. Is, with
Is that a
it's
thing?
difficult because with like the Gundam movie they're doing,
Yeah.
you can just do something completely different. You haven't got to adapt anything
Because there's
You
just
could,
so
like,
many incarnations. Yeah.
yeah, and that property lends itself to being like, you haven't got to adapt anything. You just do it in either it's a different timeline, or you can go, it's in the future, it's a sequel to this, sequel to that, it's a prequel to this. You can do whatever with it, really. With My Hero Academia, I don't know if you can do that.
Well, yeah, I agree. But with the movie, the animated movie that recently came out in both the U.S. and overseas, that one isn't canon, right?
No, it is. It's canon.
No, that's what I'm saying. That it is in canon. Is it?
Yeah,
In canon?
it's canon. Yeah.
Okay, so if that one's in canon, because I almost thought it wasn't, so
It's set between season 2 and 3, I believe.
maybe if they do a My Hero Academia movie, it doesn't have to be about Midoriya. It's more about All Might being in the U.S.
I mean, sure, that'd be cool.
They could get around with that.
Even then, it's like, are you going to do it? Is that going to be canon then? Are you going to?
That's true. That's also true. Is it going to? I feel like this movie isn't going to be canon because it is. I think the person who did the movie and the show is like he's not necessarily working on this live action movie because he's doing this show and maybe another animated movie soon. But he has somebody that's close to him, I think, overseeing it. Right? Yeah. So I think it's gonna not be canon, but it's still gonna feel like it's canon, if you know what I mean. Because there's gonna be a lot of things that are just close to the source.
Even like, if they straight up adapt the first like arc or whatever, then it's not canon because it's already happened. So
at the same time, can that arc happen in a 2 hours to 2.5 hour movie?
Well, what's the first arc? Where does it end?
Is that 10 episodes, or is it 13? Because if it's 30 minutes an episode,
season 1's 13 episodes. But is that one arc or is that more?
Oh, I'm thinking just like by seasons. I'm not.
No. Because season 2 and 3 have got like 2 to 3 arcs in it.
Because what are some of the untouchables if you're gonna do this? So similar to, like if we're, I'm trying to say like a lot of superhero movies.
Because like here's the thing, like let's be honest here, you can only really do the one thing, and that's the League of Villains. You can only really do that. Because that's all the show's really got.
Or you could kind of make a new character based in the world. I mean, that's another idea.
You could,
right?
but let's be honest, no one wants that.
That's true. But that at the same time, it could be a new character that's introduced alongside Midoriya, but Midoriya isn't the main character. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there because I just don't think they're going to do it beat for beat, you know?
No. I mean, I hope they don't do it beat for beat, tell the same story, but just do it differently. Treat it like how the Marvel and DC movies do it.
Exactly.
Like, adapt it, make it different, make it worth watching, and then so you just can't go, oh, they ruined the show because the show doesn't exist afterwards, apparently. But I know it's a tricky one as well because does it lend itself to being live action?
No, it's super like. It's an anime type of thing, right? Yeah. Where the action is so wild and can only
it's not even just the action. I was thinking more the characters themselves. Like, does anime lend itself to a Western live action movie?
Yeah, I think the action doesn't. I think the action is gonna look bad because I don't think the CG can handle like all the time. I mean, of course they'd have to tone it down, but I do think characters can transition into a Western, type of atmosphere. I just don't know so much of the action. You're not going to get the same amount of action that you do in the show because of how.
I'd question because I mean, if they put a sizable budget behind it, then the action's fine. You can kind of work it in there.
Oh, 100%. Chat says, let Stain be the first villain. That would make a lot of sense. Because
Stain would be an interesting villain.
The only reason I agree with that is because there are there's Glass with Shyamalan, right? And there's starting to be more movies that are doing kind of, this is, we hated Slider for when he said this, but a deconstruction of like the superhero genre, right? It was the wrong way to do it with Superman because he's literally the most iconic superhero. But I think that idea of like trying to break down what it means to be a hero and
I mean,
like go super detail.
deconstruction or deconstructing superheroes is fine. Watchmen did that.
Yeah, so
He didn't do it, but
no, I know,
Watch,
no. Well, he
that's
did. I
fine.
mean, he also did direct Watchmen, but he
Yeah,
said he
but
wanted to do that with Man of Steel, right? Was that the thing? So I think you're starting to see a lot more of these type of movies that are doing deconstruction of the superhero genre, mostly because Marvel does so well with what they have. It's like you can't really get into that space, so you might as well kind of do the opposite, right? And Glass. What's another? There's a couple other superhero movies that are actually coming out that are about that kind of thing of what it means to be a hero. And Stain would be the perfect villain for that first go around. And maybe they create their own villain. I don't know. It's just one of those weird things.
Also, the costumes as well. Like, you're not gonna get Bakugo's costume in that.
It's gonna be a little different, I'm sure.
Yeah,
they're all gonna be adapted to. Films of the week. I didn't get to see mid-90s. Apparently, it was an hour and 18 minutes. Wow, I probably should have went to go see it because it's pretty short. But I only really got to go see Halloween. There's still some other films I want to see, so maybe I'll go see them this weekend and talk about them next week. But yes, let me get into Halloween 2018 because there is the first thing I heard or saw was that some people didn't like this film, and I was wondering, really, can it be that bad? And then that was like kind of the first little snippets I had seen, and then I started seeing a whole wave of people like, yo, it was awesome. It was really on edge of your seat. It's like, man, I'm getting like two completely different reactions. I gotta go see it. I went to
see. I only ever saw people raving about it, and then like a couple people. No.
See, what I would say is, I think the film's good. I don't think it's amazing by any standards. I think it is good. And one of the things I wanted to mention, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, and kind of something I've been seeing recently, and I'm sure it's been in horror films, but it definitely seems to me horror films are starting to be more funnier than usual, And it's not like, because Scream was one of the first ones where that was, a funny, scary movie. But it's not like...
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. That's one of the first ones I remember, and it's kind of... I think that's why it was big for its time, because it was one of the first funny, scary movies, So, It, Get Out, Halloween, they're all really funny. I mean, they have some scary, some edge-of-your-seat thrilling moments, but they're really funny.
See, I don't remember it being funny, so I question you're saying this is funny.
So, it's funny. Get Out was hilarious because of different parts.
Yeah, but Get Out's not a horror movie.
I mean, I guess it depends, right? Because I think
Also, I wouldn't even say Get Out was funny.
Really? Get Out's hilarious. Dude, everybody says Get Out, It, and Halloween are funny. Like,
never... No one says that, only you. I've never heard anyone else.
I hear so many people talk about it and just how funny it is. And how can you not... Really? You didn't find Get Out funny?
No, because it's not funny.
There was a lot of funny parts in that film.
There's nothing in that movie is funny.
You didn't find the main guy's friend funny.
I can't remember I can't remember.
Okay, then there you go. The conversation over because you can't remember.
But even still, that's one character that's in the movie for like 10 minutes tops.
He's way more in the movie than just 10 minutes tops.
He's in the beginning and the end.
No, he's way more.
No,
but it's only funny at one moment. No, I would say so. It was similar to It and Get Out, where they were funny at like certain moments for like a lot of the time. So there is a moment where there's this kid being babysitted by one of the main character's friends, and Michael Myers ends up in the closet and stuff like that. But the kid is really funny because the boyfriend comes over to try to like hang out with her and get some in. And he's like, when he says there's a monster upstairs, he tries to send the guy first instead of the girl, because like, no, I like you. Send Dave over there. Like, it was just funny, bro. Everybody died laughing, and there's this. It was mainly that moment. I think that was like the funniest part that stuck out to me. And I guess in Get Out, it would be kind of the moment with the TSA? Is that the thing? TSA agent, the main guy's friend.
Yeah.
And in it would have to be kind of with the kids that were really funny. But So wait, I don't know what chat's talking about. It just shows how memorable the comedy is if you can't
Yeah,
remember.
that's
See,
replying to
but
me like,
okay, because I was about to say every time I talk about Get Out, it's to anybody, it's a lot about the main guy's best friend who was hilarious. I don't know if you remember in that movie where the girl tries to call him up, and then he even says like, "I see through your plans. You're trying to kidnap me too." Like it was funny.
I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't say the movie's a comedy.
No, I never said the movie was a comedy. I
Oh, I
said
wouldn't
there's
even
a
say
lot
like the
more.
movie as a whole. I wouldn't say the movie as a whole is funny. Like, there's just a funny moment. Like one,
No, there's
I couldn't
funny
even remember it.
parts.
So
There's funny moments. But that's my
yeah.
thing, because when I watch The Conjuring and when I watch Insidious, I never saw any really of those funny moments. There's nothing like that in those type of movies. So there's Get Out, and Halloween, where there's funny moments. I wouldn't say the whole film is funny. It's funnier than you would think. Like it's starting to feel like horror movies slash I guess thriller movies would Get Out are adding in more comedy moments
Yeah.
for levity, I guess. But that's just one of the things that I don't know if it's you, but I've been seeing a trend that it seems like more of these type of movies are starting to add in more comedy. I don't know why, but that's the thing. But like I said, The Conjuring and Insidious, and I don't even think Annabelle had really comedic moments. So
Couldn't say for those movies because I don't watch them.
oh,
So.
I do. I'm a big horror movie fan. So thriller, I guess we kind of get out. But
Apparently, you're a big comedy guy.
I mean, I watch a lot of movies. Let's just say that I watch every genre, romantic comedy, horror, action, regular drama. It doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, way to ruin the joke, but okay.
But I just like I said, it was a good movie. I wouldn't say there was anything special about it. I especially thought that the first act, I guess before Michael gets his stuff, was pretty slow, and I didn't know if there was a need for certain characters to be introduced. Like I felt like as a whole, one of the scenes could have been taken at to add more development for another character. There's also people there in the movie who were podcasting about Michael Myers. It was interesting to note that these guys from overseas, from I guess the UK, came to the US to podcast because they have a famous podcast about revisiting old mysteries and kind of getting a new look at it. It's like, okay, that's a thing. They're very modern with the movie. I think the best part everybody's talking about is that one shot scene in the middle. And it's Michael walking around the neighborhood, going into houses, killing people.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's just like really one shot. And one of the perfect moments was there is an open window. You could see inside the house, and there's like this lady who has her back to the window, and in the reflection you see Michael. A couple seconds pass, he's walking around, she comes to the window, she looks outside the window, and you can see Michael on the side windows walking to the back to get inside.
Oh, that's cool.
That one shot was amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like the apex of this movie. I mean, other than the fact like the twist or something at the end where he gets trapped and stuff like that, but
spoilers if you haven't seen it yet.
Well, I mean, I thought it was spoilers. I don't know. Oh, I always talk about this as the spoilers, but it's also there's like a thing at the very end where people are getting excited that you hear a little breathing at the very end because supposedly he dies in the movie, but you hear him breathing like as a post-credit scene. It's not even a scene. It's more so the credits end and then you just hear like heavy breathing.
So it's literally the end of episode 1 of Star Wars.
Dude, I don't even remember that, to be honest.
Because that's what they do. They do the Darth Vader breathing.
Oh, is that what they did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was episode 1. I'm so they that was a thing they did for something, and it was just like it's just like
dude, I definitely don't recall that. But yeah, of course there's gonna be a sequel because it's Halloween. It's like a tradition to make a franchise out of it.
It doesn't matter how good or bad these movies are. There's always another one.
Yeah, so
if it's bad, someone reboots it. If it's good, you get a sequel.
I thought it was good. I think maybe some people are liking it more than it deserves, but that's their enjoyment. I just thought it was a good film. I didn't think
it's very similar to the original.
What?
Or is it a sequel to like this one?
No, this is a sequel actually because they give references to the old one, and the girl who was young in the first one is older now, and it's the same actress, and it's essentially a sequel 40 years later and stuff like that. I actually like when they do that kind of stuff, where they, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, 30 years later, the sequel, and just stuff like that, where they bring back some of the old actors. But yeah, I thought it was fine. What was the moment? It was just kind of like a disgusting movie in the sense that, like, there's just these people that are just disgusting people, man. I was like, come on now. Like, these are just straight up, bad people in the inside. I'm trying not to cuss because it's a swear jar from the chat, but...
I wish you could swear jar.
It was just... Like, man, the people you would hope Michael Myers would kill, he didn't kill.
Well, because it's all random for him, isn't it? There's no actual like sense.
No, but at the same time, as a writer, you could, because you go into horror movies wanting to see the bad people die most of the time.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I suppose that's part of Halloween. Like, if the person you die doesn't want to die, so it fits with the whole random thing. If you can call who's gonna die, it's not random. So.
What was a friend of mine made a joke after. I thought it was funny. I don't know if you would, but he's like, you know what? I came to this movie thinking nobody was gonna die. Severely disappointed. A lot of people died.
Is there a lot of killing in it?
It's not a lot of killing, but it's very gruesome in certain aspects, if that's what you mean. Literally, he hangs a guy, like, I think he killed the guy, and his throat is hanging, like, on a piece of nail on the wall or something like that. Oh, it was nasty. And then another guy, this kid, it was like a high school kid, he just puts, like, part of his body, I think the shoulder, those fences, like, that have the really hard rails that pointy at the top? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the spikes.
Yeah. Yes.
He hung him up, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he killed him first, but he killed him by a knife in the back of the head. It's like, oh, God. It was... And I think that was also my criticism. I don't know if it needed to be that gruesome, but at the same time, it doesn't...
Wasn't Halloween always gruesome?
I don't think it was that gruesome. I just think we...
I haven't seen Halloween in, like, 1,000 years. So
I just think we popularized gruesimity. I don't know, gruesomeness.
Gore.
Tomato. I just think.
I mean, I don't think gruesimity is a word.
It should be. I just think we over exaggerate that kind of stuff and thinking everybody wants it. I don't know if everybody wants it. I didn't see a lot of people saying like, yeah.
Because that was the argument with Saw, wasn't it? He just turned the torture for.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I hated about that, was that eventually it did turn into that, and
it just gets a bit gratuitous after a while.
Yeah, but I'll give it to Blumhouse, man. I'm such a Blumhouse show. I really enjoy all the movies they make, at least for the last 5 years or so. There's a movie I saw called Truth or Dare. It was a pretty bad movie, but it was just something about it that was so fun. I don't know why. It might have been
because you like bad movies.
But it might have been just the idea that people are dying if they don't do the dares or the truth. It was a weird idea.
But
that was kind of
fun fact before we go on to the box office bit though. Disney has cancelled the screening of The Nutcracker in the Four Realms in China.
No, so that's okay with me. That's okay.
That movie ain't going to be very good. But the box office for October 26th, or the weekend of the 26th, I know we didn't do one last week, but the top three hasn't changed from then. It's still the same. So going for number 5 is Hunter Killer in its first weekend with 6.6. Number 4 is Goosebumps 2, The Haunted Halloween with 7.2. Number 3 is Venom with 10.6. I don't know how Venom's still going. Number 2 is A Star Is Born with 14.0. And number 1 is Halloween with 31.4. So yeah, Venom. That movie's. I don't know how.
People like this movie.
People respond.
People like this.
I don't get it.
I thought the movie was kind of funny, but I don't think I'd go watch it again. In the theater at least. Maybe if if I'm chilling, we're chilling at a homie's house and it's like just throws on Venom or we're doing other stuff. Like sure, like it just seems like something you have in the background. It doesn't.
See, that's always everyone's argument. I just don't understand.
For Venom?
Yeah, it's like, it's not a movie. You just throw it on in the background. It's like that's not a good movie.
There isn't. I mean, sure, yeah, it isn't a good movie, but there's an art to that of the movies that you put on in the background, because you can't just put any movie in the background.
And I'd argue this isn't even a background movie, but that's just me.
Yeah, so
but it's cracked. I think it's 500 now.
No,
yeah, it's cracked 500 million, so it's starting to make a profit now.
The funniest thing was I was listening to a podcast where this guy who's also from my city and is like a big sports writer / culture writer or whatever. He said he thought the movie was cool, but mostly for the fact that Venom called Eddie a pussy. Like, that was like the biggest thing to him. He's like, I don't think I've ever seen that. And he just thought that was super funny.
He's never seen someone get called a pussy.
No, but like in terms of like in a superhero movie. I don't think I've ever seen that in a superhero movie either. Oh man.
I reckon one has.
Which one? Probably Blade, right? Probably.
Blade. If anyone's gonna have done it, it's got to be Blade.
Maybe. Sorry. I'm gonna say no because it does. I don't know, but I'm assuming it could be Blade if it is.
I mean, Blade was ours, so it's got.
But yeah, so sad to see First Man go all the way out of the top 5, but it has been out for, what is it, 3 weeks? So
this man even made it like anywhere really in the top 5. I mean, obviously it was in the top 5 last weekend, but I don't know where did it come in. It came in number 3. I know.
A Star Is Born is definitely one I need to go check out. So that one's on my list for this weekend, and because this weekend I'm gonna take to catch up on the films that I haven't got to see. So like Star Is Born, the one with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. Here, that was a good one. Shout out to Taco King for that one. Let's see. Oh, was that a thing? Does Tony Stark do that in Iron Man 3? I don't remember.
He does call Harley a pussy. Well done, chat. Well done.
That's awesome.
I knew he could. I knew another movie did it.
I didn't know any other movie that did it. I thought Blade would be the one. That's awesome. See, that is another reason why Iron Man 3 would probably be a film I put on in the background too.
Factual, Iron Man 3 is a masterpiece. You will never be able to do better than this.
I think it's better than what people give it credit for.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece. Like, people are dumb. Yeah, that's just facts.
I think BVS is a masterpiece, but
I mean, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. So Iron Man 3 is not a masterpiece, but
that's correct. That's factual. Facts aren't wrong.
There's nothing really that surprised us, I would say, about this.
No.
The one that will surprise is Bohemian Rhapsody doing terrible. I'm pretty sure that movie's going to do terrible.
39 million is looking at.
No, I'm pretty sure the word of mouth is going to take that down.
I mean, the word of mouth might, but it's up 11% from last week.
There's so many people that are just saying so many bad things about that film.
Have you seen that tweet going around about what's his name, Remy Malek?
Yeah. Oh, about the video?
Yeah.
You know what? Respect.
My friends, no.
Mad respect, because I'd probably do something like that.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. Like, I don't want to say hi to your friends, but at the same time, it's like she was already recording. That's just really embarrassing.
No, I don't think he's embarrassed by that.
It's just so funny.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that gets embarrassed by anything, really. I don't know. He's almost like a no emotion guy. It's like,
yeah. Well, he'd be a good Moon Knight. But next weekend. You got Bohemian Rhapsody at 39. Tyler Perry's Nobody's Fool at 13.5. The Nutcracker in the Four Realms looking at 20. Suspiria, that hasn't got any tracking on it. That's an Amazon Studios movie anyway. So yeah, there's 4 movies out. I'm no doubt the 3 will get in the top 5. What are we looking at? 31. Yeah, it's probably going to be Bohemian Rhapsody, Nutcracker. I can't think.
Oh yeah, I mean, mine's pretty much the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was gonna be too much change. Maybe just put Bohemian under what you had.
What did I have a second? Nutcracker. You think Nutcracker's going to beat Bohemian?
Yeah, I mean, I just think Bohemian's going to fall.
That's interesting. But anyway, we are going to wrap it up. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We will catch you all tomorrow for the Wednesday show.
Bye.